The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
Welcome back to SGL, folks. After what felt like a very long last week with a lot of matchups, especially on Thursday, we are now in a week with fewer matches than expected. This is the only Mazar. I am back in the commentary booth after a long Thursday stream. Got a bit of a break though, but this time I won't be alone for the whole stream. With me is the first non-bot in the chat, Debit. Welcome on in. How you doing?
The first non-bot, and I am emoting. It is time to Teddy Long start arriving in chat, demanding that the presence be felt here. It's time for Tuesday SGL action, and one that I actually am really looking forward to. This is probably my favorite matchup that I was looking forward to. So I'm glad I get to be on the cast for this one.
Oh, big time. And as Teddy Long says, ECRC is going to go one-on-one with the locals. Holla, holla, holla. Anyways, that was cringe. Move on. Quickly, team previews, ECRC locals. What looks like a mismatch on paper is anything but Debit. These stats are very deceiving. The locals had a tough start, but recently they've been getting back into form, if not for a slight bump on the way against the Rebellion. So, given that the locals are just starting to get better, but also considering ECRC's form recently, I mean, do you still think ECRC are strong favorites here?
I would say yes. I would have to agree with that. And it's not even primarily for the knockdown against the locals recently with the Rebellion series. It's not even that. I'm thinking more of the fact that this ECRC team keeps proving time and time again that slow starts but strong finishes, that is just the motto of this team as they go on to any league match, league campaign, cup competition. And also, they had a tough luck of the draw at the beginning of the cup. So I'll give them credit for that one. They get to maybe have a better time over here. I think they'll do fine here.
And we cannot wait for both sets of players to get on in. So far, we do have the locals, and it's a perfect time to talk about them because we have two brand new players, as you can see right here. Months of Death and Shaybomb make their debut last week, Debit. And out of the two, Shaybomb has impressed me as a debutant. With that said, though, lineup stability is also a big thing. So, how many appearances will Shaybomb make? That is the question.
Hey, if you're already shooting 37% here in SGL after one appearance in a series, well, I guess let's say 3 appearances total, but one appearance in a series, I'd say you're looking pretty good for yourself. You're already getting acclimated pretty well. Yeah, only a small sample size to choose from, but whenever you're operating with Meki Ducky, pretty much we'll take any help that we can get as far as rotating around and getting the best possible chance to score. And I think these new teammates may have something to prove here in a cup competition that definitely has a lot of variability to it. So this is really like a Shaybomb moment, time to shine from Months of Death. I don't know how much they might appear in this one. They only got one appearance last time, so it'll be interesting to see how we go here.
Yes, absolutely. We will also see if they can have their third new player make his debut tonight. Kima has yet to make an appearance. We'll see if he shows up. Fun fact about all of Shaybomb, Months of Death, and Kima, they all come from the Frontera Supporters Coalition in San Diego FC. I don't know which exact SGs they're from, but they're all under Frontera, so it's good to see them all, be together and get involved. And now, ECRC have not as big a lineup, and we've seen a lot more consistent, lineups from them. With that said, though, recently it's all been Toad, Gojo, and Howling Moon, and that has been the star trio.
Yes, indeed. This has been the trio to watch out for the entire time. Toad shooting consistently close here, just under 40%. This is kind of crazy stat line, all things considered, because you'd feel like Toad Death would be more of like a setup kind of player for everything, but no, he's been a dominant force. Gojo, honestly, maybe that best first man they got going over here, so it's got to see how this one plays out. Howling Moon definitely fitting into the league as they go on within this season. One that I've been impressed with seeing whenever I get a chance to look back at the VODs. And literally, if all else fails, there is Smashley right there.
Exactly. And Smashley is always a wild card for ECRC in a good way. Because despite not being as good on paper, when he plays for ECRC, he is something else altogether. And one big thing we got to highlight. Notice the demo stat discrepancy between both sides. We see 56 and 35 here between Toad and Gojo for their top two. Meanwhile, in the locals, I'll switch real quick. The top two are KJ and the Mechanical Duck, 35 and 23 respectively. Huge discrepancy right there. And not only that, if KJ isn't playing, they don't have someone who's going to look for those bumps and demos. Could that be the difference tonight?
Essentially, we need to. I know if you're the locals, you want to take ECRC off of basically off their wheels over here, because they just operate so well as a team no matter what the roster is. So this is one that you're definitely going to be looking to your other players, like Aquatic, one that's been consistently ready to shoot at times and even be a goal line defender, but maybe you want them to take that little bit of extra time on rotation, take somebody out. It could even just be a small bump for all we know, because as far as we know, messed up rotations can mean the death of some teams.
And that's all it takes to, Devin. One messed up rotation, one little mistake at the back, one whiff, one bad touch, and you're going to get punished. But the time to chat is over. It's time to watch the action unfold between ECRC and the locals. Folks, we are going to kick off very soon. Here we go in Manfield. Winner go home between Emerald City RC and the locals.
Kickoff under here. Yep, we got the Gojo going off the wall. Good double tap over here. Let's start testing the defense a little early. It already looked a little panicky out of the locals, but that's an excellent touch by Ducky. Doesn't get it past Toad. And we're level for now. And both these teams are ready. Seem like they're ready to go out the gate. No feeling out. They're just ready to start throwing balls right at the net.
Absolutely, and you know what? I've loved the fast pace that both these teams are playing. And Shaybomb shot to the far post. Shaybomb continuing his goal scoring. 1-0 to the locals.
Man, this kind of reminded me of something like KJ out here. Not only just the Fennec design, but just the fact you just smack the ball right there. That's a lot of power going for this shot. Not much that ECRC can do on that one. We're up 1-0. Maybe a little bit of a shock, but you know, I'm still waiting for the ECRC turnaround. I'm still holding firm to the point that they got slow start, strong finish, so it's more gonna see like how do they respond.
One thing I want to highlight in chat, by the way, all the people in chat, and a lot of them are Seattle Sounders fans and friends of Emerald City RC. Toad Death getting the equalizer at the perfect time. Just when they had a setback, they have come out, made their impact, and now we'll see if they can take control.
Yeah, honestly, I was a bit surprised by that. A little bit of a not a good attempt at that ball, but you know, sometimes it just happens early on. We got time to work that out. We got time to get the 50s. Make sure ECRC can't get any solid shots on, as that's a good save out here by the Duck. Shaybomb looking for a shot directly on target. Toad's gonna take that one. Pressure's coming in for the locals. Don't end up getting the ball. Oh my gosh, this being right over Aquatic. Smashley gets the next goal.
You know what? Not gonna lie, I thought he should have let Gojo have control of that, but Smashley's like, screw this, I'm gonna go for a power shot, catch this locals team off guard, and most certainly Shaybomb was not ready for that as well. What an impact by Smashley. Coming in looking a little rusty at the start, as Nose, aka Soccer with Shane, was saying in the Twitch chat. But he has come back and scored, and guess who's also come back and scored, Devin? Shaybomb, yet again.
We legit do not have time to talk now. Both these teams are just shooting bangers at the net. Another one over 100 kph on the Alan Pandering Woo bangersonly.com radar gun. Man, 2-2. We're not even a minute and a half in. What's happening right now?
You know what is happening? It's the cup. It's the cup magic. Both teams are playing without any fear. They're playing and they're having fun in this game. Helps that a developer is playing in the local side, but for now it is ECRC who have the advantage yet again.
Man, who needs a developer nerd whenever you just got some nerds that play Rocket League? Gojo ready for that pass immediately, slams it in the bottom left, regaining the lead. Now it's more like, will we not see a goal in the next 10 or 15 seconds? I thought there could have been after like a 50 play over here. I guess we still have time to see, but man, it has just been an entire back and... Oh my gosh, it happened again.
I am in disbelief right now. Look at that quick out pass, Smash FC, quick shot, aquatic. Absolutely unable to deal with that, continuing to let his car roll as he jumps up and is unable to make the save. 4-2 to ECRC. Debit, this reminds me of last season, when the locals at ECRC produced an absolutely insane game 1 in the league where, you know, ECRC scored like 8 or I think 10 goals and the locals had like 5 or 6. Remember that?
I feel like I should, but I'm sorry I do not. I will just have to trust your word on this one as we move on forward. But maybe we're just bringing that spirit back. The defense is looking a little rusty here for a game 1. They're preparing for all the extra mode insanity right now. But we're playing normal 3v3. There's already been 6 goals only halfway through. And there's the 7th. Mashley on a hat trick now.
Yep, it's just like last season, chat. Absolutely insane. Look at that bumping right there by Gojo, just sticking to his adversary, not letting him go. And Smashley has the open net, easy finish. We talk about Toad, Gojo, and Howling Moon, but Smashley has come in with Toad and Gojo and made an absolutely instantaneous impact already.
Instantaneous indeed. Going back and forth, already looking for more. The redirect was there. It's classic ECRC, just looking at each other downfield, seeing who can end up getting to this one. But man, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I can't do this anymore. Guys, I can't do this anymore. There's no points. There's no points. They keep scoring.
Listen, enjoy the show, Debit, and enjoy the show, chat. These are some awesome finishes. We're not talking about sloppy defending. We're not talking about silly errors. We are talking about high-quality finishing, high-quality passing, high-quality attacking team play. And it's fitting that it's coming from your Western Conference teams in the ECRC. And the locals, once again, what a shot by Shade, barely off target. And I say Western Conference, I mean West. We don't have conferences in this league, by the way. Apologies for that. We're tracking the NHL playoffs. So, let's get back in on the action. Gojo, aka G, changing his name just for the occasion, and he is an absolute G, getting yet another goal into his stat line.
Guys, I didn't think we would end up becoming reaction streamers instead of, you know, going for like play-by-play and meaningful commentary at this point. But yeah, you said it best. There's nothing to do but basically react to the show right now. Why talk about the emerging themes whenever the only theme that we got right now is quick drop plays like that right there? Nearly went in.
Good God, Shade could have had 4 already. He probably is in line for a double hat trick if this keeps going. But his team also needs to defend. Right now they have been so open. I think they're missing KJ right here potentially. But on the attack, they've looked as fluid as they've ever been. Most certainly due to Shaybomb's presence. We'll see if they can make these chances count now, because ECRC are sitting back and they don't want to concede. Aquatic going back to Shay, a little behind the ball right there. Second shot, double commit. This means trouble for the locals, but Shay gets back.
So that's a brilliant turn, looking back. And now Mechanical Duck has an opportunity. Does get the shot through. The offense finally putting one up after ECRC have had a little bit of a flurry of goals as of recent.
And you know, we talk about emerging themes. Here's one emerging theme for you, Devin. Mechanical Duck, not in a Batmobile. What the hell? Why? Maybe that's why his team's losing right now.
Because you know what they say about V1 right now. Never done. Mechanical Duck truly never is done whenever it comes to these games. And, well, never mind. There's a pass across that was supposed to happen. But instead, we'll take this one up. Nearly gets one on target. I'll say, I'm trying to look for a midfield right now. Maz, there's no midfield at this point. Like, well, anything right now.
They both want to play Transition Rocket League. That is A-okay with me. Midfield controls all well and good. But I think in this game 1, they both want to get loose. They both want to have some fun. and they both want to get ready for game 2 and that potential extra game mode or alternate game mode. Because right now, ECRC has sealed the deal and have gone first blood in this lower quarterfinal match.
Yeah, first game, all critical, set the tone, keep yourselves out in front. Counterpick's gonna go against you, but you know, extra modes really haven't anybody can take these games kind of mentality. I've seen a lot of games go against the counterpick of these teams. Now, also, we can kind of chalk that up a bit to we probably don't know if these players actually play these extra game modes or not, but it's just been one time that I've been noticing that a lot of counterpicks just don't go the way of sometimes of the team that wants to play that matchup.
Big time. And you know what? We might still have further surprises because sometimes we think a team's not ready for a particular game mode. But then they come out strong and you think, wait a minute, do they actually play this? Or are they just having the game of their life in this particular game mode? We shall see. Because this next one's going to be very interesting, folks, when we log in to game 2. And speaking of logging in, let's check out chat and all the people who've been chatting. This chat's been super active, Devin. We see Luis, we see Soccer Shane, aka Nose, we see KJ chatting it up, Raisin Boy being a regular bird, Nana as well. Of course, you were the first non-bot to enter the chat.
Hell yeah.
Really
Bro, there are
popping off
so many
tonight.
green names in chat. Seeing Luis and Howling Moon in here is like a refreshing feeling right now. It's all variations of green.
Absolutely. We'll
Even
see.
Raisin Boys is green on my screen.
Which is, yeah, he's green on my screen too. Maybe he's wanting to make that particular pick.
Becky, let's go.
Waiting on both teams to join. Should we spoil the game mode or did you already do that?
I don't think I said anything, but I'm just gonna let it roll out.
Yes, absolutely. Still waiting. All right. Never mind, they're both joining in right about now. Folks, we are almost ready to go. Serrano is popping in with Draymond Green. Wrong sport, bro. Anyways, 1v1 action, yes. Mechanical dunk for the locals against the G Gojo for Emerald City RC. Here we go. Strap yourselves in, chat. This is gonna be a good one.
I'll say it's not too often you get to see 1v1s on the channel, and quite immediately back around the transition play is in effect. Gojo getting a really good pop over here after getting that 100. That's an excellent shot on target.
Great start, and that is how you get a powerful shot at 1v1s. You get that shot right immediately after the bounce. Ducky was caught in no man's land. Had to get back, but couldn't in time. Once again, off guard. And no!
Oh no.
Big miss! Open net! Ducky with the equalizer.
This is just one of those tragic mistakes. You expect a player like Gojo to score that every day of the week, and then Meki Ducky's like, oh shoot, time to go. Let's just turn this around, get the equalizer here, and now we're all level.
Just like that. We haven't even gone past the first 30 seconds, and we are all square, folks. Ooh, good opportunity right here for Ducky. Right on the edge of the goal line. Ducky could not make it. Gojo gets the corner boost. Gojo has the open net, and Gojo gets a second. Just like that.
Man, I thought for a sec that Meki Ducky was actually going to catch Gojo out and get that 50 on, but it's just an overcommit at the end of the day. Gojo takes it right back down. Classic turnaround play. Gets the lead back.
And if we have game 1 to go off of right here, we're probably going to be expecting a lot of goals against these two, amongst these two players. Impressive.
Yeah, I was
Go ahead.
sort of wondering to see whether after like the flurry of goals, whether it just be time like to lock in. Now, early results are kind of telling me that they're gonna keep doing this back and forth, which is fine, but now it looks like they're kind of settling into the game a bit more. There could be a lot of 50s, a lot of dribbles around. This should be clean for Gojo. Does excellent here to get the next goal.
Look at that low boost. Still catches Meki Ducky off guard with that touch. I think Meki Ducky had a feeling that he had low boost. Wanted to go for that quick challenge, get that ball off of it, but mistimes his jump. He is now down by 2 goals, but as we've seen in 1v1s, chat, players can come back almost at an instant. So even if you're down like 4 goals or something, you really don't have much to worry about.
Nope, we've seen kickoff goals go in time and time again. Anything can happen, but right now Gojo is off to a really good start, catching a lot of 100 boosts out here, forcing Meki Ducky to jump for a lot of things right now, wondering whether to go or not. Gojo is doing everything right and gets another shot on, gets another goal, and that's a 3-goal lead now.
Ooh, I thought Ducky was gonna bite right there, but he just says, no, I'm not gonna go for it. I'm gonna resist. And then he still gets caught off by Gojo going for a powerful shot. Gojo is taking control of this 1v1 right now, Debit and chat. And honestly, I don't know how Meki Ducky can get back into this because he has been second best in throughout.
Yeah, it looks like Gojo is just sort of, I mean, they're at the point where they can kind of wait things out a lot more, waiting for, you know, the touches that Meki Ducky's going to make. They don't have to rush anything right now. They can sort of just, you know, play Mourinho ball at the end of the day. May work out against them. Oh, that's such a fortuitous bounce here for Gojo. Thought it was going to come clean out to the middle. Ends up going a bit wider, and Ducky pays the price for it.
Now both teams are just becoming a bit more reserved, looking to control the ball a bit more, not, you know, overcommit as much. Ducky settling in right now. Oh, he has a chance right here, but Gojo bumps him away with 0 boost. Second chance for Ducky. Beats him, but doesn't get control of the car right on time. Gojo with his Fennec, still 0 boost, gets 100. Now Ducky needs to get back and recover. And once again, Gojo's in, set up, and ready to go for his goal. Off target, off position now. Ducky with a straightforward shot into the back of the net. And that sums up 1v1 action right there, folks. If you cannot take your chances, expect to concede.
Yep, that was actually probably the one more chess-like moves I've seen out here. Gojo going for a calculated air dribble bump, but you know, Meki Ducky was definitely not there at the time, so unfortunate to see for Gojo there, but Meki Ducky doing well. Only a 2-goal lead, still a lot of time to work with. Has a solo play, going for an air dribble bump of their own, ends up getting Gojo out of the way, not through a bump, but the net is clear, and now it's a 1-goal game.
Not many mind games in that instance. It's straightforward. Get that touch. Go for the bump. Even if you don't get the bump, you're going to throw your opponent off guard. Gojo had to dodge away from that. And unfortunately meant that he couldn't get his save. 4-3 just like that. 1-goal deficit for the locals. Ducky brought himself back into it, but Gojo can get it back to a 2-goal lead. Flip reset. Lead out by Ducky. Gojo needs to get back. No, he decides to challenge. Works out for him in the end as the ball goes to the opposite end, Debit. But we'll see if Meki Ducky can make this work.
Yeah, we gotta see right here, right now, because it's gonna come down to these 50s and these boost steals right now, because both these players seem really tapped into what they can and can't do right now. They're gonna be watching for, you know, every touch they can get. That's an excellent read by Ducky on the midfield, waiting for the ball to go up. Ends up beating one. Any touchback. Gojo can't get this out. It's tied.
Of all the moments I've seen from Gojo right there, I was expecting him to just take control of the ball right there. But I think that bounce off his Fennec was a bit too strong. And not gonna lie, Fenix can have those moments. That's why some players choose to go with the Octane instead. But 4-4 after Meki Ducky fell behind and looked like he lost control. He's back in it. Let's see if Gojo can respond.
Oh no. You had this giant lead, you're waiting for something to happen. Oh my gosh. Oh, how the turntables.
Speaking of turntables, Gojo just left the lobby. Yeah, he left his team. Is he back?
He's back.
He's back. Okay, had to be sure. So he left his team and came back, I think in a fit of irritation. But, hey, still lots of time. Just about 1 minute to go. It's a 1-goal difference between Gojo and Ducky. Insanely close 1v1 affair right here. Ducky taking a while to settle in. Ooh, a bit risky there. But Gojo gets away with it, still keeps control. Nice air dribble right there. He do it yet again. Off the sidewall. Gonna go for a ground dribble attempt. Ducky reads it. Gets the corner boost as well. Gojo gonna go for a long shot, see if he can get some boost from the midfield. And now it's Ducky's turn. What's his move gonna be? He's gonna play a loose touch to Gojo. Gojo trying to go for a shot, just didn't get enough towards the net. But now the net's open on the other end. Can Ducky get that on target? He cannot. Final 10 seconds. This is all or nothing for Gojo.
Oh my gosh.
And he gets demoed for his trouble. That's it. Game over. The locals get one back, courtesy of Meki Ducky.
Holy crap. This match felt like it was done and gone. Meki Ducky might have put on the most clinical approach to coming back in 1v1s I've seen in a hot minute. So this was kind of insane to see, all things considered. What a mental battle to go through.
Seriously. And you know what? Gojo, with all of his, growth in this season where he's become way more consistent in the 3v3 games, I honestly expected him to really turn up in this 1v1, and he did, not gonna lie. He was really good. But then Meki Ducky settled in defensively and started punishing Gojo, taking his chances, and it goes to show you don't need to be insanely mechanical to be good at 1v1s. You just need to have good game sense to go with your decent mechanics, and you'll go far.
Yep, gotta rely on that. And now we go back to the 3v3. This is one that I'm always intrigued to see after a mode like 1v1. How does that carry back into the team game? You go back to your teammates. Couldn't get it done this time, guys. But now it's just time to reset the mental. You got all the teammates back. You did well in game number 1. Time to reset.
Speaking of reset, this game team might take a bit of time to get started. I think we're just waiting for one more player to join. So bear with us while we wait. But Devin, when you first saw this 1v1 matchup between Gojo and the Duck, did you think that it was going to go like this? Or did you have like a favorite from the start?
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have favored Ducky in this matchup. Given on what I know about both players, which is more limited than you would probably think. But given the amount of knowledge I know about Meki Ducky, I felt like they had the best patience to stay within a 1v1 the entire time. So that would be my pick, but honestly, the way the early game was going, I was like, all right, this is you, Gojo, but now I think even more impressed at the result.
Big time, right? I mean, Gojo did show off his skills for sure. Meki Ducky had the composure. Speaking of Meki Ducky, he is back in this for 3v3 action. Here we go. DFH 1-1 in the matchup so far. This is a best of 7 because this is a cup tournament match for those of you who are watching. And winner go home. We are in the lower bracket. Whichever team loses, well, that's it. They're out. And the winning side goes to the lower semifinal to face one of El Matador or EC Turn. And interestingly, we see Muzadeth and Shane come on in against Ducky, with Ducky against a Gojo-less ECRC. Howling Moon taking Gojo's spot.
Yeah, honestly, I like the move. I mean, in a 7-game series, you got a lot of time to work with, and given how level the teams had kind of been feeling so far, especially after a chaotic game 1, Mechanical Duck getting on the board with this one. What an excellent play out. Muzadeth making the way very well to start off, getting the clears out. Mechanical Duck gets the finish. Local start off good.
You know what's funny? Just as Moses parted the Red Sea, Muzadeth basically parted open that goal by drawing Toad Death and Howling Moon towards him. And all Meki Ducky had to do was just tap it into the far post. Got that easy finish. Although Muzadeth could have had a second right there if he got that on target. Now Shaybom's turn. Off the backboard. Oh, he's going to go for a second touch. Muzadeth comes in, gets his first goal in SGL.
Man, why look for Shaybomb, who's about to do all the work, whenever you got a developer and Munza that's just waiting in the wings, piling onto that ball. 2-0 here to the locals.
Speaking of developer, Munzadeth is also a developer, chat. So 2 developers playing for the locals. If you're wondering how, San Diego is home to Psyonix, and Psyonix had a partnership with San Diego Loyal. Rip to them. Fortunate that they had to go away the way they did. But yeah, that's why you see 2 developers playing for the San Diego FC team in the locals, because, well, they go to San Diego FC games still, and they're involved with Frontera. So there you go.
If I speak, I will get fined.
Don't go there.
Moving on.
Don't go there. Anyways, look, I know where you're gonna go. I would let you do it in the podcast.
Yeah, no, not worth it right now. We got a game to attend to.
Absolutely. I mean, there's more than one topic we could discuss right now. But back to the action. ECRC slowly getting back into it. Ball played out to Howling Moon. Loose in the middle. Smashing going in for the bomb. Gets it. And Howling Moon gets one back for ECRC. And he has Smashly to thank for this.
My goodness, I'm about to say, you can't talk about this goal without Smashly rising up, getting the boost, and then just hopping straight down. Get out of here, Ducky. It is Howling Moon time to score a goal. ECRC are back in this one. The mood has changed a lot since that 1v1 happened. Definitely not as many goals, but as I say that, the caster curse comes in hot. Mechanical Duck gets the 3rd.
And you know what that means? Caster curse! Stephen P. Smith coming out to celebrate. Meki Ducky getting that solo goal off of the left. Nice solo play right there. Getting back into it. 2-goal lead for the locals yet again.
My face has made so many appearances on this. I can no longer live in privacy. Chat, have fun with this.
And now that y'all have been able to catch your breath, we get to see some physical play come out from the locals. Munzadeth getting a demo on Howling Moon. Howling Moon coming back, getting a 50 on Munzadeth. Good 1v1 battle developing at that moment. Shaybomb beating ECRC's Toad Death. Ball loose again in the middle, shot towards net. Meki Ducky, by the way, has been looking really good in the Dominus, not gonna lie. I feel like he has found his true self, his Batmobile self in this Dominus.
It feels like just like a long car enjoyer, you know, whether it be the Batmobile or the Dominus. I know we've made fun of the Dominus games at times because the Batmobile definitely was the move in a lot of cases. Really has warmed up for the Dominus. A lot more decal options to go with. Has a lot more creativity to work with on this one. So yeah, looking really good in the Dominus. Seems to not really miss a beat with the mechanics either. Gets these high pops as well. Oh no, that goes just beyond Toad Death, but Munzadeth can't get it. Meki Ducky just ends up putting it away anyway.
The misses. I was ready for it, Devin. I was gonna play that, but I held back because Meki Ducky comes on in, gets the 4th for the locals. I think he's on a hat trick right now, isn't he? Or does he already have his hat trick?
Yep, that is the hat trick. 3 goals on 5 shots here for Mechanical Duck. The offensive prowess just keeps showing for this duck-like figure in a Dominus in a V1 decal, as the locals have a really good lead going toward that final minute. Okay, nope, no, don't own goal. Don't cast or curse me on saying that you guys have a good lead. Come on, man.
It's okay, you got away with it right now. But can ECRC get away with this? Meki Ducky off of the corner, doing it yet again. This is the Meki Ducky show. The Duck has arrived after that 1v1 battle. And this is all the locals. Game 3.
My goodness, when in doubt, call the Duck. 1-800-DUCK. He's there and ready. With a ham bone of goals for all the bowlers out there. Putting the team on the back. This is honestly such a dominant performance. This looks like it carried over straight from the 1v1 vibes all the way up to the 3v3 play.
And you know what? Let's give credit to his teammates as well. Both Mons and Shay providing the foundation for the Duck to do his thing. But it's ECRC getting back into it. Great pass. Another chance. One off the post. and the second off of a Locals defender, and that ball finally goes out to the other end.
At this point, for Game 3, whatever happens for the Locals happens. This just feels unlucky for ECRC towards the end. This is one that, unfortunately, you're just going to have to end up taking over here. You do end up having the counter pick. Maybe it'll work for you. Well, last one worked for you, so maybe ECRC will end up getting the counter pick that they desire and will end up working out well for them. I'm curious to see what they pick after a 6-1 game. After 1v1, I'd almost want to loosen up the tension a bit, but you know, that's just where I stand. ECRC, your move.
What an incredible Game 3 here from the Locals. After getting trounced in Game 1, they finally put it all together here. Great defensive performance, great attacking prowess, and Meki Ducky, the star of the show. And we'll see what ECRC responds with for Game 4.
Yeah, this really is getting me curious as far as what to go for at this point. Like, we know the team is pretty much 2v2 merchants. They do love playing their twos. So it really gets me wondering if they're going to go for something crazy. It could be even like Hoops for all we know, because that's still another 2v2 mode. But I don't know. Like, Chad, am I wrong for thinking that like they just go 2v2 here?
Speaking of chat, Leslie coming in, spamming the chat for Smashly. But will Smashly make an appearance in this next game mode? We shall see.
Is yet to be determined. Will the Smash end up coming in?
So waiting on both sides to get back in. And they finally are. Here we go. And after an insane 1,036-point performance by the Duck, he is back with Shaybob against Gojo and Howling Moon in this 2v2 battle. Here we go. Utopia Coliseum. Howling Moon going for a bad start off of the crossbar. Could not get the double. Gojo, power shot. Howling Moon playing the blocker inside the net. And it's ECRC who take the initiative.
Man, talk about a fast start. I really thought that double was going to go in from Howling Moon. It looks so good. But you know what? They just know how to stay on the play, be a team player for it all. That's brilliant setup for Gojo. Excellent finish as well, keeping it in the air. Excellent bump. 1-0 here to ECRC. Looking to get another quickly. That's another crossbar. Maybe Howling Moon could get the shot. Does so, but that one was saved off the line by Shaybomb. Nearly 2-0 there.
And I'm gonna... Wait a minute, Howling Moon
Nope.
coming in. I was gonna digress, but Howling Moon caught my attention yet again. Gojo going for a quick challenge, catching Shaybomb off guard. Howling Moon going for a quick shot. Meki Ducky not ready for that. And ECRC have caught the Locals sleeping. 2-0 to ECRC.
All right. A quick little beat over here. For ECRC, this is what I expect out of a 2v2. I expect them to be maybe a bit uncharacteristic at times in the movement, but the mechanics are going to be there all the same as they continue with another one. Gojo getting the third. Man, this is looking ever more clinical.
Now here's the thing, Devin. We saw Gojo get a quick start against Meki Ducky in the 1v1 battle. Granted, this is 2v2, but 2v2, in my opinion, is like a 1v1 with another teammate. So can we still see the Locals come back? What a clutch save by Ducky right here. Not over yet. Gojo faking the duck. Gojo showing his magic. We're not even a minute into this game, Devin. And it's already 4-0 to ECRC.
Oh, and Shaybomb, after getting beat, nearly had Gojo like 3 times on this one. With the bump, no go. On the shot attempt, nope. Literally on the side, jumped a little bit too far on that one. My goodness, what a play here from Gojo.
It's not over yet. The ball is still in the orange half. Hollywood keeping up the pressure. Big away Shay. Gojo. Oh no.
Turn! Tally ho, Shaybum, your time has come.
You can describe that. What happened there?
This is what we call I want to ground pinch. Unfortunately, the guy challenging me is driving straight. Uh-oh, I'm not in the right position.
Well, you couldn't have summed it up any better. Oh, what a great kickoff here by ECRC. Drawn well, but the spawn! The RNG! Playing into the developer's favor! I swear nothing is rigged. Shaybomb is not rigging this game live. I can guarantee you that. He just got super lucky right there. Oh my god, after getting a goal back, that would have been the killer. But Meki Ducky now, trying to bring his team back into this. Gojo. Oh, he got caught off guard, but Howling Moon is right there to bring it out to Gojo. Meki Ducky versus Gojo yet again. Nice 50. Gojo, second, third touch. Pop tie up, Devin. Howling Moon gonna play it safe. And this allows the locals to slowly get back into this game now.
I'll say they're taking the 50s now at this point. I know in a lot of ways you can mess up the locals by getting Meki Ducky off of, you know, some 50s that he's just not turned around for. That could have been one of those, but ended up not being damaging here to the locals. They're still kind of playing a little bit of this midfield ball, looking to maintain possession right now and get these quick strikes. Maybe it works over here. Oh, Meki Ducky can't quite get the shot on target. Shaybomb cannot get the rebound either. And another opportunity missed over here. Still got a lot of time though. This local squad is definitely not giving up by any means and definitely not willing to like throw the kitchen sink yet. And nor should they.
Still a lot of time. It's just a 3-goal deficit. Shaybomb gonna play a pass. Ooh, he misses the ball completely. Ducky needs to get back. He still has enough boost. Shaybomb whips. Ducky gets back right on time. Saves that from being a 5-1 lead for ECRC as we enter the final 2 minutes. Shaybomb redeeming himself with a good defensive effort against Gojo. And now the ball's loose yet again. Howling Moon taking control. Nice aerial control. Nice 50 open net. That is mercy. Instead of going for the shot, tried to bait out a 50. And the locals get away with it yet again.
And they make it. Oh my gosh, I thought the opportunity was there. Well, actually, it was there, but honestly, the net was well covered here by ECRC. Meki Ducky not able to get the shot on target off the crossbar yet again. Time is running out for this squad right now. ECRC are still looking ever solid. Don't look like they're in any sort of rush by any means. Just sort of taking their time, getting the right touches, forcing the locals to play a bit slower. It's not looking really good right now if you're the locals.
And you know what? ECRC have managed this very well. After conceding that goal, they decided to take it a bit more passively, and they're baiting the locals out, getting those loose touches off of them, and getting their 50s in, making them count as we enter the last 45 seconds. The locals need to get a goal now. They need to in order to stand a chance at getting the comeback going. But once again, it is the Gojo show. The G has got another G, another goal, 5-1, and surely that is game 4 to ECRC.
Yeah, that really has to be game at this point. This honestly was just such a calculated game here from ECRC. Never really looking back this entire time. Really just said, all right, those were bad games 2 and 3. We're gonna get it back in this one. We can surely force a lot of issues here within this next one. We'll go back to our tried and true, give ourselves a little bit of room to work with. Oh, little foot reset over there. Unfortunately, doesn't get the contact you want out of that one. For ECRC, now we're looking at, you know, it's the best of 3 time within the best of 7. It's time to go. Let's see what we got here in these final potential 2 or 3 games.
Well, we're going to take a while to get into Game 5 because Meki Ducky gets 1 back, 2 goals to the locals with 2 seconds to go. No shot of a comeback right here, but a consolation goal never hurts. And with that said, Gojo showing his best in a game mode where he's most comfortable. 2v2 is all him. And, ooh, no third right there for the locals. ECRC seal the deal. 2-2 in this matchup as we enter into our next 3v3 game.
Back to the 3v3 we go. Interested to see what lineups we toss out here, but you know, after watching the 2v2, I am really impressed with Howling Moon as a duo partner. I did not know how much of a team player they actually were until watching this 2's game alone, because in 3v3 it's very easily to get lost in just watching the action. Everybody chase after the ball trying to put in the net. But this 2's game really showed me a lot about Howling Moon, so I'm going to shout out them for that performance here in this one. Helping Gojo deliver the quality against this local squad here in game number 4. As we pivot back to 3v3, now, yeah, I'm going to go back to the first thing I said. What lineup are we going to see? I am genuinely curious to see if Smashley ends up coming back in, or if we're going to rotate out what is arguably the strongest lineup, but Smashley honestly is a good shout for this one again, either way.
Yeah, not gonna lie, but with that said, this ECRC team has been in the mood to rotate. And we shall see if they rotate yet again. We can say the same about the locals right now because they have pretty much everyone in. So even they can rotate. So this trio is going to be a bit of a surprise for all of us once we get in, depending on how it goes.
We're locked and loaded here for game number 5 for ECRC. We do see Toad Death coming back in, joining the 2 squad, and for the locals, Munza Death is coming in for that duo that you just saw last game. So no substitutions from the 2v2, only adding on to the 3v3 action as both these teams are geared up to take command of this series, to go on match point here in this lower cup quarterfinal. As we see Shea Bomb clear out. Right to Gojo, though. Midfield, I'm wondering to see if we do get the midfield back. It looked like it was a lot more controlled in these past couple games here so far. But it makes me wonder if we're gonna get a midfield again, if we're gonna keep playing the ball is just, we'll just keep booming it down, and then somebody will go forecheck.
Well, we kind of did have a midfield in game 3. That's how the locals were able to take control. And right now, with ECRC fielding their strongest trio against a trio that won so convincingly in that game 3, don't be surprised if this becomes a big midfield battle. So far, good passing right here between Toad and Howling Moon. And Debit, not gonna lie, I feel like this might become a cagey game, given how good both of these sides have looked with their best players on. And so far, an opening for the locals, but Toad gets in at the perfect time.
Oh man, you thought that was clear in at that point. What a save off the line by Toad Death on a basically seemingly 100% scoreable opportunity. Way to get back in time. Gojo nearly getting the double off that one. No Howling Moon either. This is a turn here for the locals. They could probably get something out of this, forcing to get boost. Toad Death once again clearing off the line, showing that this defense is going to be critical here for this game number 5.
And you know what's crazy, Devin? We are almost 2 minutes in. It's still 0-0. That just tells you how cagey this game has been so far. Once again, good opening, good opportunity right there. Not really coming to much for ECRC. Locals not even getting past the midfield. Good passing play right there. Ooh, Toad barely missed that. Now it's Howling Moon's turn to set up. Towards Toad. Toad high off the backboard. And Mecky Ducky gets it out to Gojo in the midfield. Great first touch. Second touch, kind of loose. Shea Bomb's able to bring it out. And this goes to Mecky Ducky, who's going to look to take control off to the side. Does not get the boost, though, so he bails out. Munza Death finally gets it clear.
It's really cool looking how both teams are, like they're bringing that caginess to it right now. They're definitely way more comfortable letting the game come to them right now. In a lot of ways, like they're not willing to make super aggressive touches, but they're definitely knowing when to challenge within the midfield over here. It's just kind of been fascinating how like no clear-cut opportunities besides the first minute have kind of happened since then. It's just been sort of like, how do we pick apart these teams right now?
Yeah, it feels way more tactical and pragmatic in that sense.
Oh, shoot!
Completely unlocks this game with an insane shot. Your Golden Boot winner from Season 8 does it right there. Munzadeth tried to get it out, but he couldn't make it on time. And it's ECRC that take the lead in this critical Game 5.
Oh, and it's hard to even blame Munzadeth over there. We're used to seeing so many passes here from this ECRC squad. You know, lining up, ready to assist each other whenever possible. But Toad Death, it's hard to leave him by. You said it, Golden Boot winner last season, already up there for a lot in goals this season already. Just can't leave him that open over here. With this lead, oh man, that's such a good pop there by Toad too. We gotta see what the locals are gonna end up doing, because this response is not quite it here for the locals. They're doing a lot of these 50 balls, but the ball touches aren't exactly the most intentional right now. I know they got a little bit less time to work with, but maybe they're making the most out of it right now, because Mecky Duck gets a brilliant ball down. Unfortunately, nobody there for the locals. Maybe they could do something with this transition offense.
So I'm looking at the boost meters from both sides, and I'm just seeing how much boost ECRC has. They've managed this really well. The locals, in contrast, ooh, bit of a shaky moment there, but they've kind of struggled to be on top of their boost game, and that boost control has really helped ECRC. They're trying to see this last minute off. Shot attempt by Gojo, off target, but Ducky still gets involved to get it out of the way. Nice pitch up into the air, to the middle. Somebody needs to take over from the local. Shaybomb gets one touch. Still no boost. All three are out of boost for the locals. ECRC, in contrast, have way more in the tank. But so far, it's still a 1-goal difference as we enter the final 10 seconds. Devin, get ready for a tense ending.
Oh man, that's right. We're at 8 seconds right now. ECRC just have to hold on a little bit more. Maybe there's gonna be one last chance here from the locals. It's out to the midfield. Oh no, Mecky Ducky has the ball. Looking for a pass. Brilliantly intercepted by Gojo. Gets the double. Gets it off the corner. That is just brilliant play within the midfield. Breaking that up in the air. Taking it back down away from the opposition. 3-2 here to ECRC.
We have had so many goals in the past 4 games before this. To have a 1-goal game of this manner just feels like such a massive surprise, Devin. But as you can see, both sides felt the tension. Both sides wanted to make sure they didn't concede that first goal. But in the end, it is Toad Death's incredible finish that makes the difference. And sometimes you just need a great individual moment to make it count.
You're exactly right about that. That one individual moment that just ends up standing out here for these sides. Something that just makes the defense go, oh crap, they're shooting it right on my net. Gotta deal with this somehow. And that was literally that moment there for ECRC. For the locals, this is your time to lock in, see what mode you're gonna go for. Do you want to go crazy and start playing it like really unsafe? Go for something risky? I mean, because basically all the modes that are standard are gone now, except for about hoops, I would say. So
I gotta interject real quick, Devin. We're gonna do a lobby reset. I didn't get the game mode in on time. That's on me. We just set up the map yet again. Yeah, I don't think we'll see either team go for an extra game mode. Sorry, a regular game mode. No, I think they've pretty much exhausted all those options. They're gonna go for an extra game mode right here. We shall see if that's actually the case, though.
So yeah, there's all the standard ones are out at this point. We just gotta see what the locals are feeling like at this point. Do they want to go crazy with do they want to embrace the Stanley Cup playoffs and go snow day? Do they want to go rumble, one of the worst modes ever? Do they want to go drop shot, one of the best modes ever? Sorry, I'm hating right now, but it's rightly so.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, right? There are a lot of possibilities right here for the locals. And you know what? They need it. Because it's now or never for them. ECRC are on match point. The locals need to pick the right game mode right here so that they can go into Champions Field, into that final 3v3 matchup. We shall see what both sides, what the locals pick and which sides turn up here for this game.
Yeah, intrigued to see, because we are going to be looking at a whole brand new game mode as we shift into here. We're seeing both teams start rolling back in here after a little bit of that lobby pause. But going into game number 6, we have seen so many memories from RLCS being played out on this game 6, whether it be pushing to game 7 or it being the heartbreak for many teams here on this map, here on Neo Tokyo. And yet here,
Sorry, Devitt. When you talk about heartbreak, didn't we see Atomic have his massive whiff right here against BDS last year?
I didn't want to say it, but you're right. It happened there. It was directly on this map.
Alright,
But will
what
it
side
be
you on?
heartbreak for this local side? They're facing elimination right now. They're on Neo Tokyo. Chat, I've given you a little bit of a hint as to what we got over here. They're geared up. They're ready to go. Time to take us into game number 6. And we are about to desecrate this great field with Rumble.
You couldn't wait for one random item and effect to come into play. You just had to spoil it, eh, Devitt?
Hey, man, they knew what was coming as soon as they saw the field.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And we start to see the effects come into play. Oh, this is going to get wild and wacky now. Get ready. I mean, this could honestly go either way right now. If you remember, the last time we saw the locals play Rumble, they had a really good game against what should have been the best Rumble team in SGL in the locals. I'm mostly talking about Serrano right here because, you know, he did get SSL in Rumble.
Yeah, that dude, get a little bit of a sweat in Rumble. Yeah, that dude who just loves Rumble over here. Oh man, what a switch. That almost became a technical own goal off the spikes. Doughboy had his own spikes over here. Gets knocked off of that. And now we're just seeing the old local squad back together. It's the Duck, the Aquatic, and the Doughboy. Be really fun to see. Excellent save off the line here from Aquatic. Look at the play the Magnet right now. Ends up passing it to Ducky. Unfortunately, no control over there. Both these teams will reset. Oh shoot, what is that?
Oh my god, this is going absolutely wild right now. It's like, you know, everyone's in a hootenanny, just going crazy. And there's just absolute chaos and disorder right now. Both teams are still trying to settle in, I feel, as they try to get used to this. Oh, good solo play, but Howling Moon gets booted out. Das Boot coming into play. Smashy going for the plunger. Ducky going for the harpoon. KJ going for the clearance.
My goodness. Yeah, literally, it's just been like... It's honestly been really calculated use of items so far. We were waiting for some spike goals. We see a lot of good bumps out. We've seen some boots go over here. Oh my gosh, a steal with the spikes, but he's stuck on the ground right now because of where the ball's stuck to him. But it's still a really good save out here by Aquatic.
This is absolutely insane. I mean, we're seeing the best usage of items that I've seen in a while in SGL. In this Rumble's game. Oh my god, Aquatic! All he has to do is tap that in. No easy task though, because that ball was whizzing past him. Damn.
Dude, I thought he was actually about to like pass that to himself with that. Oh my.
Oh.
No.
Oh no! Wait, that
No,
ball
the ball
dropped and it was
fell.
frozen? Wait, that happens? Yo, Shay, Muns, if you're listening, can you confirm that? That is insane.
Okay, now I'm flabbergasted. Okay, there's something like this. No, he ended up blocking himself. Back the other way. No, this is how the first goal goes.
You get the first goal. This is absolute insanity. Absolute chaos. And dare I say it, Devin. Absolute cinema.
Oh, you might have to bring it up. Raisin Boy saying, how could you not be romantic about Rumble? Because I don't ever see the game like this. I never see the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
Listen, this might not be the kind of good stuff you enjoy, but savor the moment. savor this game. I've had the most fun watching an extra game mode in SGL in a while. It's because these two teams are doing their utmost to make this Rumble game absolutely wild. Just the craziness on show is incredible. Everyone's using their items effectively. Look at that switch right there. Hollywood getting back into defensive position. Now Gojo. Oh my god, the punch out for Ducky off target. And the ball is just all over the place. It doesn't even know where it wants to go. Physics be damned.
Yeah, for real. Oh my gosh. Okay. It was a regular play that was forming, and I'm like, no way he's able to get like a flipper set or another hit off. As Aquatic ends up punching this one away. Smashly clears out. Gets a pass to the backboard. Oh my gosh, what a boot back. Wait. Wait. Oh my gosh, what a turn of fortunes here for the locals. Nearly works out for them there. Can the magnet help out? No, it's not there. It can't latch on. Dr. Aquatic can't get that one into the net. Locals can't get a 2-goal lead. Maybe it can be a turning point here for ECRC. But they haven't just found the right item to use over here so far. Able to get a boot out. Bumping Smashly out of the way. Doughboy can't get another touch. What can the Duck do? Nothing against Howling Moon. It's time to transition. 30 seconds left in ECRC. What do you got left in the tank? Holy crap.
Our shot by Smashly off target though. Now Gojo going for standard Rocket League solo dribbling play. And Becky Ducky gets the spike. Beats one. He has one more to beat. He's trying to go for the flick. But it doesn't matter. KJ comes in, seals the deal. With 10 seconds to go, we are going to Champions Field.
And for a sec, I thought he screwed up so bad here, Mecky Ducky. And I thought Smasher was going to be able to get this one out. But nope. Time to clean up the mess. 10 seconds left. Maybe miracles can be had in a game like Rumble. It's not looking very good. Wait. Okay, never mind. Doughboy has saved that off the line. Game 7 incoming. Doesn't matter if that goal by Gojo was honestly the most impressive thing about this game so far.
Wait.
We are going to Game 7.
That's the most impressive thing. I have to bring that out. I'm sorry. If you didn't think all those item usages beforehand were not impressed, Debit.
Get me off that screen. Get me off that screen. What the hell, man?
Come on, dude. The item usages were the best you've seen in a while. How can you say that that was the most impressive moment?
It was individual effort without the item. In a game that has so many items around it. Come on, man.
Oh, boy. Well, you know what? That wild ride is finally over. We can now relax. We can now regain our composure, Seven. We can now regain our professionalism because we are about to enter Champions Field, where legends are made, where legendary moments come to fruition, where you see heroes go to zero and zeros become heroes. Folks, Debit, chat, for those of you who watch the VOD on Twitch or on YouTube, get yourselves ready because in 10 seconds we are about to go to Champions Field.
And what better way for this series? One highly anticipated one. One that I have been waiting to cast. One that features Toad Death. And one that definitely had to go to Game 7 because it was Toad Death involved in the series. There's only one way for these Cup series to go. And that's a Game 7. We are locked up, ready to go, ready to transition. Get up and get loud. It's Game 7 time.
As the clock ticks down to this final game. Here we go. Gojo Aquatic off a kickoff. Toad Death TMK.
Oh, no.
Anticlimactic. All right, we got to get out. That's on me. I blew it, folks. I blew it. My bad.
Tragedy here in SGL. We'll try again next week. We lost the plot.
I freaking built it up and I blew it.
All right, we'll get it fixed up.
What can I say? Disappointment.
Be right back. Be right back. This has happened before. On LAN. Happens to everybody.
Well, all the hype and anticipation's gone. Folks, grab your drink right now. Although, don't take too long because both teams are going to be coming in very soon.
Yeah, well, I'm about to say they feel like they're ready to go. Shea Bomb saying run Rumble back.
I mean, it's fun, but hey, we gotta go to
Mm,
Game 7, Champions Field, 3v3. You know how it is.
Rumble 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Both teams
But nope.
finally in. All right, where's the volume? Uh-oh. Let me fix that. Real pause. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Game 7. Champions Field.
We have been waiting for this moment just for a little bit. It's time. Will it be the locals? Will it be ECRC? Oh my gosh, Aquatic nearly got started off 15 seconds in. Just couldn't quite nail the touchdown. Still level at 0. Locals firing on all cylinders to start Game 7.
And guess what? It is the OG trios for both sides. I say OG because ECRC's match 1, sorry, trio is out. Gojo, Howling Moon, Toad Death, and then Aquatic, KJ, and the Duck. I expected Shea Bomb, to make an appearance, but he is sitting this one out. We'll see if this works out. Tentative right now, baiting out the 50. To ECRC's advantage, though. Toadette gets a shot, gets it out. And now, Becky with an early shot. Aquatic, off the backboard, in front of the net. Toad whiffs. Gojo, right in front of it. He gets it out, but barely. Debit, a nervy start for both teams right here.
I'm about to say, nervy indeed. We were playing footsie in the midfield over there, waiting for Mechanical Duck to get the next touch, and maybe Aquatic with a boot out. Nothing going. Ends up being a lot of smackdown over here. A lot of cagey play right now. No team wants to make that first mistake, but honestly, it may be a little bit of like a mistake-filled until we find a goal type of game, based on what I'm seeing. Clinical demo here by the Duck.
Yeah, it feels cagier than it did in Game 5. But I think after the chaos of Rumble, I think both teams just want to catch a breather and just get used to playing regular 3v3 yet again. So don't be surprised. Once again, we're going to go past 2 minutes without a single goal. And maybe one goal might do it. The locals have a good chance right here. Aquatic could not get a shot on target. A little bit of team bump action right there amongst ECRC's players. Now Gojo getting bumped away for his trouble. Getting out of the Furia Octane. Going back to the regular navy blue, dark, like blue Octane right there. KJ loose. And both sides are still just playing it safe for the most part. Debit, I mean, no surprise right there, but what will it take for this game to unlock itself?
Maybe another mistake? I don't know. If it, like, both teams are still kind of just like reacting to everything right now. They're not exactly set right now. This is probably the most set play I've seen looking so far besides that first opportunity. Oh, no, please. Okay, breathe from now. Almost tragic. I know I said another mistake, but not like that. I didn't actually want that to happen.
I was gonna bring him out, Debit. I was gonna bring him out.
It would have been it would have been needed.
KJ saved your blushes right there. With that said, he saved his team's blushes as well. Oh, what a pass! Right there from Gojo to Howling Moon! We had a solo goal from Toad in Game 5, but this time we have a team goal. ECRC take the initiative.
And man, a setup by Gojo, finishing off the rotation with a bump on the Doughboy himself, clearing the path here for Howling Moon. Incredible start here for ECRC. Oh my gosh, paints the corner, and just like that, it's 2.
Great kickoff shot right there from Howling Moon. Angling his car perfectly to direct the ball to the far post. Ducky getting caught off guard right there. Couldn't react properly. And ECRC getting 2-goal advantage. But there's still time for the locals to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, just couldn't quite land the bump. Maybe Meki Ducky has something to work with. Looking for a 50. Doesn't work. Both ECRC players in net waiting for the next attack. Maybe Aquatic can get another touch to it. Gets another hit. Oh, not quite over there. That's tragic.
Ooh, ECRC can breathe a sigh of relief right there. So far, They haven't had to deal with an overly threatening shot on target. Both of the locals' best chances coming off of the post and or the crossbar, off the frame of the goal. As we enter the final minute, debit for the locals. It's now or never. They're going to go home if they're not careful. KJ getting that out, but barely. But it's ECRC that have control.
Yeah, for now, they keep forcing the play back down the local side. They're putting a lot of pressure on, getting the demos over here, getting the bumps out. They're forcing locals into these awkward positions over here. They're forcing them to keep driving whenever they're just forcing themselves out of position at that point. They're having these awkward moments where they're wondering whether they should go right now. It's opening up the midfield right now. Toad Death has an opportunity to pop, does so. Howie Moon for the hat trick. No go over here.
Ooh, Ducky bumping Aquatic into that. Aquatic finally gets a boost. Ducky with little to nothing to work with. Yet again, the boost manager being a problem for the locals. They have to make it count right now. They need a goal. The clock is ticking against them as we enter the last second. ECRC get to the lower semifinal. And for the locals, that goal comes too little too late. It is over. The locals are out of the Premier Cup.
Oh man, this game could have gone so differently from the get-go too. What a performance here from ECRC after a couple moments of brilliance over here from this squad, whether it be a bump from Gojo or the pinpoint accuracy of Howling Moon on the corner off the kickoff. ECRC, through it all, end up taking this series. What an excellent series overall.
Incredible. I mean, we saw amazing, high-quality solo gameplay. We saw great team play. We saw lots and lots of goals. And then we saw a bit more KG gameplay, followed by an absolutely incredibly chaotic Rumble game. Probably one of the most unforgettable games we'll see ever in SGL. And then this Game 7, where the locals... And I'm going to echo what Rydog is talking about right now. Where the locals decided to bench Shaybomb and Munzadeth to bring in Aquatic and KJ. Did that decision work against them, Debit?
Maybe. It's one that I was maybe thinking, like, for the interview. Like, it could be one of those risky ones where you go, I'm gonna run back the original squad on this, see if we can do this as the original team that was here this season. Which honestly would have been quite the performance if it actually worked out. It actually was a lot closer than you would think, but a gamble nonetheless.
Well, you know what? I think now is a good time to hear the thoughts of our winners. ECRC are going to be sending in the G, Gojo, very soon, and Debit. I mean, we got to ask him about what happened in that 1v1 once he comes in very soon. But maybe, you might have another question in mind, because right now, he is here. Gojo, welcome on in. Congrats on that victory. You guys had to work really, really hard for it. But how are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. How are y'all?
Doing excellent, dude. I mean, after game one like that, where it seemed like no defense was being played, it's just like, all right, we gotta start thinking like when these teams like actually start settling in, getting used to the play over here. Take me on a reaction for that game one, because I felt like there was just no midfield at all. What was the vibe like out there?
To be honest, we didn't have a game plan. We had all four of us here today, which was pretty fortunate. And we just wanted to go out and have some fun.
You guys absolutely looked like you were having tons of fun early on. But then you guys had that game 5. Incredibly cagey and incredibly defensive. Tell me, what were the mentals like for you in that game? Because it was really, really defensive, and it was one goal that made the difference, courtesy of Toad.
Not really sure, to be honest.
Well, how about this? Let me ask you about Game 6 then, that Rumble game.
Yeah.
Was that the most fun you felt like you had in SGL in a while? Because as a spectator, I was absolutely enjoying that.
Yeah, it was something different. I really enjoyed it. I don't think really any of us plays Rumble, so it was just kind of like who wanted to take it, and yeah, no, it was still fun. Just looking to get more field time, so
So you gave a Rumble hater like me a good reason to watch a Rumble game because that was quite the performance from both you guys over there. So impressed performance all around there. I did want to ask about the 1v1 as well. I mean, you're coming off a game 1 win. Things are looking pretty solid out there. What kind of happened in like that last back half, and then like transitioning that like to game 3 and on?
Um, so I think in that 1v1 I had a solid lead. And then I don't know, I kind of just got to the point where I was like, well, screw it. Let's just try stuff I don't really normally go for in my competitive and casual ones matches. So I just started trying more mechanical stuff, and then by the time he caught back up, it was a little too late.
That's tragic, but I'll be still good for the matchup download. You can always take it into the next time, you know. So that's at least good to see there.
So with that victory, you guys now going into the semifinals in the lower bracket, and you'll be facing off against one of El Matador or EC Eternal if they could get that upset. What's your game plan gonna be for either of those sides, if any?
Just pretty much the same thing we always do. We just show up, have a good time, try and communicate the best we can, and see what we can do.
Sounds good. And one last question from my end, Gojo. You know, it has been a long season, but we are now about to near its end. What are your thoughts on how you've done personally in this season? If you want to reflect back on, you know, your performances both in the league and the Cup, would you say you've been satisfied with your season so far?
I am satisfied. I think I had a slow start, but I think it also kind of plays a role in bringing a new player into the lineup this season. But overall, I think we're really kind of settling and kind of mesh, so I'm more than happy with our performance.
There you go. Deb,
Yeah,
do you have anything else you'd like to ask?
Yeah, or nothing from me. It just seems pretty emblematic of like the start for you guys. Maybe just being a little bit slow, but it seems like you guys end up coming out on top in most cases anyway. So yeah, no, really solid performance overall. Good to see you keep going on in the Cup over here. And yeah, I'll leave the floor to you.
GG's to everyone. Had fun, and good night, y'all. It's pretty late over here.
Yeah, for sure, dude. We're already at 11:45. All right, well, peace out, Gojo. Good talking to you.
Hey, GG's. We'll catch you next week.
Later, y'all. GG's.
Later. Man, Gojo is so chill. Like, you could tell he doesn't get fazed by anything. Even if there's a setback, he just seems like he has the composure to, you know, get back in on it.
Ready to take any form of adversity, and then now it's like, well, probably bedtime.
I dig it. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now we are going to hear the thoughts of the locals. KJK Doughboy, welcome on in. Unfortunate Game 7 loss. Before I ask this question, I want to know one thing. Kima was going to come in for Game 6, and then I had to do the lobby reset, and then you decided against his appearance. Who made that call?
Actually, that was a misunderstanding. He jumped in the lobby. He didn't know about the rule. He's another one of our new players. He didn't know about the rule about just the people playing in there being in the lobby. So we had our lineup in there. He just we got a few signals crossed.
Fair.
That's a first time mistake. All good there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Devin, should I ask or should you?
go for it.
Well, Game 7. You guys brought out the OG trio. Aquatic, KJ, and Meki Ducky. Now, I'm not going to say it. Rydog said it in the chat already. You might have read his messages. He's talking about how he wasn't happy with that lineup, and I'm going to be honest, I was kind of surprised as well. So what was the decision making going into that lineup for Game 7?
So we actually rolled that one out in Game 6, if you'll remember, because it was the extra mode, and the three of us had been last round in Cup. We ended up losing the Rumble round against the Cauldron, but we felt like we played really well in it. It's the debate between that and Drop Shot, because we also played really well in Drop Shot that round. With as Meki and Ariel a team that ECRCR, we decided to go with Rumble, maybe get a little RNG in our favor. We ran that out for 6, and then the debate was, do we want to go back to the lineup that we had been running for most of the threes, for games 3 and 5 at least, which had been doing pretty well. And the guys were like, no, let's run this one back. So we did.
You know what?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of tough to fault that decision making at this point. And even then, I do want to commend the Game 6. How do I describe it? Shenanigans of that Rumble game, because how do you turn? Well, hang on, I might still be a hater of Rumble, but you gave me a good showing enough to be convinced that maybe there was potential here. What the heck, man?
What the heck? In which sense? I mean, in Game 6, the Rumble is, and none of us, really, any of the 5 of us that were playing tonight, Kima joined in late. He's another one of our new players. None of us are like Rumble mains or anything, but we had again played against Cauldron when we did it, and so we had already had a feel for, okay, we need to call out what we've got. And Rumble is really a patience game in terms of using the power-ups you've got at the right time. And one of the absolute shenanigans was the goal line save that I think I ended up getting credit for it, because I had held on to a freeze until that exact point.
Oh my gosh!
And
Yeah,
froze it on the goal
fell?
line. It was in front of my face basically, and I hit that freeze button because Gojo was on it. It was putting it in, and I'm like, no. It came down again. We did a really good job of communicating what we had. We used things at the right times, and a little bit of RNG left. Let's face it, it's Rumble.
Oh yeah, but no, honestly, you definitely get the credits from me at that point, because it actually felt like, maybe not felt, it literally kind of looked like you knew what you were doing to a degree. So I commend you for at least making it look like you were actually Rumble players.
I've watched a couple of videos that Sunless has made with some of the real solid Rumble players. I'm not saying I'm anywhere a quarter as good as them, but I picked up a few tips at least.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
learn by watching.
exactly. You gotta prepare. You guys did. Well done on getting yourselves ready, getting into that Game 7. Once again, though, the locals fall short. Every time they've gone to the last game of a matchup, they more often than not have fallen short. So, what do you think the side is missing this season for them to get over the hump and get that Game 5 or Game 7 victory?
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. We laughed it off once or twice, but it's been probably it's in twice in the cup and 3 times probably in the regular season that we've fallen in the last game. Some close, some not. Tonight was a close game. And they put in their strong lineup, and we held with them. They're such a good team. Gojo's he's been grinding it. It's very clear how much he's improved, and he didn't start low. So they are such a good team. They work well together. They're really challenging to play against. My hat's off to them. It's tough to say what we do from here. We've got brand new players to us that we were able to put the call out and finally get some response, including y'all may have noticed a couple of people who work at Psyonix, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take a little time to gel. Actually, when we get off here, we've got a private lobby we're gonna have some fun in, and we'll try and figure out kind of our best lineup. I have a feeling what a couple of them are. I already know that I'm going to take a bit more of a back seat myself, which I'm fine with. I'm making that call. And we're just gonna play out the season and see how high we can go. Obviously, we're a little bit off the pace, a lot off the pace in the standings, but the season's not done yet. We've got some fun to be had.
Oh, big time. And how much more potential do you think your team has now that you have, Kiba, Muns, and Shaybob entering your side? Do you guys think you can become a much better team and potentially challenge for the title next season or even the cup, depending on what we have set up?
You're always supposed to say yes, but we didn't, unfortunately, yet. This group that came in, it's awesome that we were able to find more players, people who were very interested in doing this. But we didn't get the boost that, say, an El Matador did last season in their window, or that a lot of teams got in the off season. Found GCs. We unfortunately did not find any more GCs, but I think we still got a chance to really improve. We've got a couple of, I think, C1, C2 players who've joined us in Muns and Shay. And Kima's still relatively low. He's in that plat range, but I told him, go ahead and join up. I can't guarantee how much you're going to play in the actual league games, but please come on in. Everybody's welcome. We'll get you higher up if you want to. So I'm being practical about our chances right now. We don't really have that X factor, I think, that carries us. I mean, Duck is probably tired of having to carry our team on his back for the last 3 seasons now. But I think still we can improve and we can still be a good team.
That's fair. Speaking of X Factor, you guys had Raid a while back. Is he in line for a comeback, or is his time over?
Well, I mean, it is. I haven't nudged him recently. It is getting to be summer, but he has been a good student, is my understanding what he told us. He plays soccer for school. He's in AP classes. Like he's trying to be a good student, and gotta commend him for that.
Oh heck yeah, dude! No, I commend that a lot. Got to be your good noodle,
Yeah.
Well, I have one more thing to say. The floor is yours, KJ. Go ahead.
As usual, thank you to all of you who put on the stream and the league and everything. Always appreciate it. Well played. Tip of the cap to ECRC. If anything else, we are helping to provide cinema in this league on the stream. And thank you to everybody who was watching.
And thank you as well for the beautiful overlays and all this beautiful presentation. You have been such a massive guy for us in SGL, setting all this up for us. So, we have to give you big credit for this once again.
You're welcome, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the cinema again. We absolutely appreciate it. Every time that we can throw up that mini graphic of me doing whatever the heck that I did. Just for you guys to, celebrate what you're doing out there.
Always happy to provide more cinema for Debit.
Exactly. This guy gets it.
Well, appreciate your time, KJ. It is getting late. We're not going to hold you up for too much longer. Have a good night, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too, sir.
All right. Well, we are about to wrap up, but before we do, let's just take a quick look at the bracket to see where we stand right now. With that victory, ECRC do go into the lower semifinals, where they will face off against El Matador or EC Eternal, depending on when that match gets played. We also have an upper final to be played out. Timbers Army versus KC Cauldron. Must see. Absolutely insane matchup coming up right there as well. With the extra game modes in play, I cannot wait to see what these guys have in store for us. But let's not jump way too far ahead. We have El Matador versus EC Eternal to finish up. And after last week, El Matador are huge favorites, aren't they?
They still got to be at this point. But, we're still coming back from losers at this point. So, I don't know. This one really does feel like whoever gets to that winner's side grand finals, maybe like the best case scenario as far as winning this, but you know, it's hard to count out anybody at this point, not gonna lie.
Oh, absolutely. I totally
Especially-
agree with that, Devin. Big time. But I was more so referring to the specific matchup. EM versus EC Eternal.
See, this team. I really want to say they should. They should provide an upset because I want craziness to happen, especially with this premiere. But no, this is EM. They're gonna run it back. I think they're gonna do that.
Well, it depends on when they get their match scheduled. Most likely it's going to be on Thursday because it feels like on every Thursday we have at least one SGL matchup. So don't be surprised if this gets scheduled on Thursday again, folks. For now, though, this is what we have in the Prem Cup side. Quick recap of the Champ Cup side. We have our grand finalists ready to go. We have our lower final matchup ready to go as well between Steel Army and Los Verdes. Devin, we cannot wait to see this unfold in 2 weeks' time. And honestly, this is going to be really fun to keep track of as well.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually the matchup that I wanted to see. Like, as much as I do love playing against Defiance, I feel like that last series against LV didn't do them justice. So I'm really hoping this one will be like a nice little run back before whoever gets to face Black and Gold Old Timers there in that final over there. I'm really looking forward to this next matchup here.
Oh, that's going to be an absolute barn burner for sure. But for now, we have to wrap up our stream. Thank you all very, very much for joining. We are about to end it now. But folks, do stick around because we will be rating one of our SGL community members very soon. We will be rating Luis's channel very, very soon. We're not going to go into an outro. We're going to jump straight into their channel in 3 seconds. Have a good night. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.